The importance of a good hook cannot be underestimated. Spy Family hooked me immediately. After checking out the first episode of the anime and the first chapter of the manga, I wanted to dive in and consume all of it. This awesome introduction to the series got me thinking, how many times have I or you started streaming a new series or film and 10 minutes in, you pause and look over to your significant other and you both agree that this sucks? If I don't feel that initial hook, there's many more for me to try out. So, what is it about Spy Family that hooks us so well? First off, a fun and interesting premise. Spy Family has been on my to-read list for a while, since the premise sounded like a fun time. I guess it really was a while because I had no idea that the anime came out recently. But I digress. The Viz Manga app has a pretty short but concise description, an action-packed comedy about a fake family that includes a spy, an assassin, and a telepath. Honestly, I think they could try a little harder here, as this kind of sounds like an elevator pitch to me, but color me intrigued. Over on Crunchyroll, we get world peace is at stake, and Secret Agent Twilight must undergo his most difficult mission yet, pretend to be a family man. Posing as a loving husband and father, he'll infiltrate an elite school to get close to a high-profile politician. He has the perfect cover, except his wife's a deadly assassin and neither knows each other's identity. But someone does, his adopted daughter, who is a telepath. Spy Family is an action comedy with a unique premise. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is why it has broad appeal. People like to be entertained. If you can truly make people laugh, they'll keep coming back for more. Strong opening. I find the first few minutes to be the most important, especially when streaming. There are nearly unlimited amounts of potential series or films to stream, so this is where the hook must grab you. For a book, many might say it's the first sentence of Chapter 1. By the way, I'm going to focus on referencing the Spy Family anime from here on out. In the first 30 seconds, we see an assassination. Alright, that was quick, you have my attention, show. The following 2 minutes, we are introduced to Twilight, our main spy dad, posing as the bad guy and stealing the goods, going full Mission Impossible with the face mask ripoff and all. Good start, but this is an action comedy. Hit me with that action, Tetsuya Endo. Or would it be Wit Studio? Or both? Oh, he broke up with his girlfriend because she can't quite hold an intelligent conversation. That's kind of funny. Ah, she's the daughter of the bad guy Mark we just saw. That makes sense why he broke up with her now. Twilight gets his next mission. Cue the spit take. We're 3 minutes in now and I'm already hooked, I've gotta say. And this is just with 2 sprinkles of comedy, 3 if you count this guy meowing.
Yum.
This opening, though, very quickly established world building and plot. 2 neighboring countries are at odds. What will this master spy's next mission be? Ah, a family made up with individuals with their own very particular set of skills. Now yes, very shortly we meet Anya, the harbinger of Spy Family's comedy. How could a cute little girl who's a telepath living with a spy and assassin not be? Especially when she can hear all their thoughts. But I believe this opening without Anya is still important for setting expectations. Spy Family isn't going to be a slapstick comedy firing on all cylinders at all times. We're going to get a perfect mix of action, suspense, and drama. A flowing narrative with laughs. Not just a day in the life of this wacky family. In episode 1, Operation Strix, we know that we're going to get Twilight's undercover family mission play out, or at least get started. This brings me to my next point. Interesting plot. Keep the audience curious. Now, this master disguise spy must put a family together in what, a few days? How can this work? That sounds crazy. This is now the overarching plot for the foreseeable future. How can Twilight get this insane plan to work? Spy Family sets up curiosity. We watch or we read because we want to know how it plays out for Twilight. Once we meet Anya, the dynamics of the show go pretty wild. Adding a telepathic little girl who knows Twilight's secrets, but will play along because she wants out of the adoption agency life, makes for almost unlimited amounts of possibilities. Now we're dealing with this little pink-haired wild card, and we want to know what kind of trouble she gets this family into. I'm sticking to episode 1 here, but we obviously know the series is called Spy Family, and Yor will soon be added into the equation, which will further the dynamic of possibilities. 2 secret identities for Anya to manage in that kid head of hers. Interesting characters. Twilight. Twilight, or his current moniker to others, Lloyd, is already interesting. He's definitely the OPMC, as he can handle himself in a fight against many enemies, yet is still smart and skilled enough to slip away when needed. Being overpowered is fine in this case. This is an action comedy, so I don't necessarily expect Twilight or any of the trio to eat it during the series at any point, but please, no spoilers in case. Twilight constantly doubts himself in episode 1. Maybe he should find another daughter. Oh no, he got caught, what's gonna happen next? Why did he do this in the first place? Putting a child in danger? Twilight is not only the main protagonist, but the voice of the viewer in episode 1. He understands his situation. And while this is some crazy fiction, it helps the viewer or reader to relate to this master of disguise. He's serious about his mission, but Anya certainly puts some chinks in his armor, as he realizes that making a child's cry reminds him of his upbringing and one of the reasons why he became a spy in the first place, to create a world where children won't have to cry. We also see legit joy when Anya passes the entrance exam. The dude literally falls down because he relaxes for a split second, letting his guard down and letting all of his pent-up exhaustion hit him all at once. Could this be a setup for Twilight actually falling in love and caring about Anya? Another curiosity spike for the audience. I think so. Anya. Finding a child to enter the elite private school is Twilight's first order of business, and he finds the perfect child in Anya, or so he believes. A questionable 6-year-old genius who can complete a crossword puzzle in mere seconds. Also, this girl's a telepath. Let the hilarity ensue. No, really. This premise is perfect. Giving telepathic powers to a little girl who doesn't completely understand her situation, or even what she's hearing, is a recipe for success. Just being a little girl makes it funny, as Anya doesn't necessarily react with caution when she hears thoughts, even though she's attempting to keep her powers hidden. Anya has no filter and definitely struggles to hide what she hears, sometimes blurting out responses to thoughts as if the adult physically spoke to her, leading to mass confusion. But remember, she's a little girl and doesn't quite understand everything. Plus, sometimes she just wants to hang out and have some fun. She's set up as a curious little kid, and curiosity is what killed the cat. Yor, the Thorn Princess. I know, we don't meet Yor until episode 2, so just a quick mention here, but adding the assassin wife/mommy to the family only enhances all of the dynamics I've mentioned thus far. Up the comedy as there are now more secrets for Anya to deal with, up the action because we now have 2 protagonists who can fight, and up the suspense because, well, now the family has an assassin. What Spy Family does last is what seals the deal for at least one more episode or one more chapter. End on a cliffhanger. Yes, Anya passed the entrance exam, but Twilight is not set here. The second phase of the admissions process is a family interview, and it is mandatory that the applicant attends with both parents. Absolutely no exceptions. Well, now Anya needs a mother. See you next time. I don't know about you, but I find Spy Family hard to put down. Yes, action, comedy, drama has to be your thing, but that kind of anime and manga is right up my alley. It's honestly been quite a long time since I felt this hooked on a show in this genre. The number of series and movies in general that charade themselves as comedies that don't make me laugh is sickening. I understand everyone has different tastes, but you assume a comedy should be funny, right? Spy Family made me laugh, all while dangling that carrot of an interesting and intriguing narrative. So next up, expect a video on the first 6 or 7 episodes. Make sure to subscribe for that. And until next time, see ya.